Sybil! Sybil! Sybil, my dear. Sybil, I have an urgent message. I've spoken to your father, and he's given permission for you to ride to the Hudson Bay to see if the British are coming by sea. If they are, you are to take the lantern and make 2 passes through the towns to see if the British, the people are all batten down their houses and prepare for the British to come. Now I will ride to Terrytown, north, to see if the British are coming by land. So take this lantern. Here, let's hop on. Come on, take my horse. Come here, boy. Come here, Elvis. Yeah, it would be easier to move the box. Here you go. Yeah, it's not supposed to be a comedy. Ready? Up. There you go. Gather up. All right. Now, take these lanterns and ride for freedom. Remember, 1 if by land, 2 if by sea.
Hear ye, time to assemble.
Welcome, welcome. I am Mercy Otis Warren. They call me the conscience of the revolution. I am a community organizer, activist, influencer, radical pamphleteer, lover of freedom, and all-around troublemaker. Some of my pamphlets were being passed out today by 2 of our finest ladies. They co-founded the Philadelphia Ladies Association, Sarah Bach and Esther Reed. You will meet them later. I am so happy to see that the public has come today to bear witness to the Daughters of the American Revolution's reenactment of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Think, if you will, that it is the 18th century, around 1776, in Philadelphia, at Independence Hall, and you are watching the proceeds taking place. Now there are 42 of the 56, 13 colonial delegates present. And they are engaged in the final debates concerning the signing of the document, the Declaration of Independence. Here we see the Committee of 5. John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, Roger Sherman, Robert Livingston, and the dear Dr. Benjamin Franklin. Now, these men have worked tirelessly to prepare a final document for the move into independence from Great Britain. Here you see Thomas Jefferson. There are other people present at the Congress today. We have James Wilson. We have Richard Henry Lee. We have Charles Thomas. And we have Mr. Witherspoon. And again, we have Thomas Jefferson, who finished writing the Declaration of Independence, handing it off to the President of the Second Continental Congress, John Hancock, for signing to begin. But do you wonder why you see no females present here at this monumental undertaking? That's because women were not allowed in Independence Hall, controlled by men. Women were not afforded the same rights as men. The Declaration of Independence was primarily written as a declaration of war and a vehicle for men to show their dominance. So, there is a hidden history of women who helped shape America's founding, and it all took place behind the curtain. Not just with muskets and balls, but with economic pressure. So these fine ladies today, who may have been a pen writing behind the founding fathers, will explain to us what they brought forth to secure the revolutionary cause. And I would like to start today with one of the most revered women I know, Martha Washington.
Good day. As you know, I am Martha Washington, married to George Washington. You wonder why you don't see my husband here in Independence Hall. It's because he is out on the field leading the Continental Army in the fight for the British. During the American Revolution, I supported the Army. I might not have carried a musket, but I raised funds, gathered supplies, and spent several winters with the troops. Even the difficult winter at Valley Forge, where I organized clothes for the soldiers. I cared for the wounded, and I helped to raise the spirits of the men fighting for our independence. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Mary Ball Washington. I am George Washington's mother. Without me, there would not have been a victoriously led army. I played a major role in my son's upbringing that influenced his life. My son was baptized at birth. He read the Bible and he prayed in public. I was opposed to drinking, smoking, or gambling. I taught George what the virtue honor is, what it means. I was a firm parent, yet tender with a loving care and an attitude toward George's education by the Huguenots, especially morality. I made George tell the truth. I refused to let him join the Navy, so he became a county surveyor at age 17. Later, I encouraged him to become the commander of the Continental Army. My attitude toward independence set the stage for George's political beliefs. I demanded respect as a parent. As a result, George supported me, and he saw to it that I had a pension. And he answered all of my requests. This is my motherhood credo on how to raise a George.
I am Abigail Adams. I am the wife of John Adams. John was one of the party of five that helped to draft the Declaration of Independence, and he also signed it. I've become quite well known and very popular because that was the wrong thing to do. Because I have been a very strong advocate of the independence that is brewing this day and age. You know, my husband and I have been known to write very intelligent letters back and forth about governmental affairs and also politics. Because of that, I have been very active in politics, and I have actually supported the women's movement. John has often asked me for advice, and I have been in charge of our home, our farm, because John is abroad so very much. Because I had that financial experience, I have collected money from all over the world, people who have supported this revolution that is just about to happen. In fact, with this document, I begged these forefathers and my spouse to include the woman's right to vote, own property, and have education. I was sickly as a child, so I didn't go to private school like all my peers did. But my grandfather and my uncle, they had a library, so I spent hours and hours and hours reading. I want to tell you that I have moved the movement of women forward. We have a son, John Quincy, who has aspirations of moving forward in his father's footsteps. But I'm telling you, my slogan is, remember the ladies!
Hello, my name is Sarah Bradley Fulton, and you may not know this, but I am known as a mother of the Boston Tea Party. As a leader of the Daughters of Liberty, I played several roles in the revolution. I physically stood up to the British who stole my wood, and they were going to shoot me. I told them, go ahead! And they're so shocked, they returned my wood. Hold on. They returned my wood. But that is not my biggest claim to fame. Before the revolutionary fighting began, I told my anti-British friends I was against the Stamp Act. I gathered the Sons of Liberty and I proposed we dump the British tea back into the Boston Harbor. And that's what we did. I disguised my husband, my brother, and myself as Mohawk Native Americans. And we trespassed to 3 British ships and we threw the tea back into the sea.
Good morning. I am Rebecca Sherman. I was raised in a household with healthy civic beliefs, and these beliefs influenced me greatly because they were based on fairness, and that just made sense. When I married, I chose Roger Sherman. During our courtship, we realized we were of the same mind, and therefore we were a good match. He is a member of the Party of Five that drafted the Declaration of Independence. I have always supported my husband in all his work, and when he gets perplexing issues of the day, he seeks out my opinion and my advice, because he knows I have the colonists' interests at heart. I have been asked my opinion so often that some people refer to me as an honorary cabinet member. Lastly, I want to tell you that I have had the privilege of working alongside Betsy Ross to sew the stars on the first flag of this young nation. Thank you.
I am Dorothy Hancock. I am married to John Hancock. John Hancock is famously known for being the first signer of the Declaration of Independence, and also his large signature so it could be seen. I, on the other hand, was known for my wit, my beauty, and my lavish dinner parties. Our dinner parties we hosted foreign dignitaries from all over Europe. We also used these dinner parties to be able to talk our politics, and behind the scenes, heated discussions were in our home where things were worked out that led to this independence. I also witnessed the Battle of Lexington. When Paul Revere came in to warn us the British were coming, I went to our home in my bedroom window upstairs and actually heard and saw the first shots of the Revolutionary War. We were all standing behind our husbands, and a big part, not just bystanders, we were a big part of the revolution. Thank you.
My name is Deborah Sampson. I'm exceptionally tall and strongly built, which enabled me to learn to ride and hunt at a very early age. Women are not allowed in the Army, yet I had a strong desire to serve my country. So I cut my hair, bound my breasts, and enlisted under the name of Robert Shirtliff. I marched and traveled with scouted the enemy positions. During battle, I was hit with a musket ball and my face sliced with a sword. In order to keep my secret, I had to dig out the musket ball with a penknife, and I closed my wounds with a sewing needle. My leg never completely healed, but I remained in the Army another 17 months until I became dangerously ill, at which time a doctor discovered my secret, that I am a woman. But instead of getting punished, I got an honorable discharge from West Point. Thank you.
Hi, I am known as Molly Pitcher. I am a fearless woman. I married a farmer who went to fight in the First Continental Congress, in the Continental Army. The war had just begun, and women like myself began to play a critical role in the road to independence. I went with my husband to war, showing how much I supported the revolution. I live in war camps, wash clothes, and care for the sick. I am popular among the troops because I smoke, chew tobacco, and I swear as well as any of the male soldiers. Brave work and hard work are my calling. I carry water to cool the hot guns and quench the thirst of desperate soldiers. I run back and forth from nearby springs. When my husband was wounded, I took his place manning the gun crew. I learned quite quickly to handle any cannon in my sight. General George Washington gave me the title Sergeant Molly. Molly was a common name for Mary, and Pitcher represented all the buckets we women carry for cleaning. I believe I will be a symbolic figure forever.
I am Phyllis Wheatley. I am the first African-American publisher of poetry. I was born in West Africa, and I was stolen and sold into slavery. My captors transported me to North America aboard a ship named the Phyllis. That's the name they gave me. The Wheatley family, they purchased me for the mistress of their home. And the Wheatleys were very progressive. They taught me to read and write once they recognized my intelligence. I learned, I was encouraged to write my poetry, and I traveled to London with the family. There, I met many prominent people, and the people collected a number of Patreons concerning my book of poetry. I gained an audience with King George, who helped me to become more famous in England, and George Washington in the American colonies praised my work of poetry and recognized the limitations of the colonial rights and slaveries in the colonies. My ideal of revolutionary ideology and equality and liberty were incorporated in my poems. Shortly after my book of poetry was published, I was emancipated.
Hello, I am Judith Sargent Murray. I am a woman's right advocate. I have written over 100 poems, essays, and 2 books expressing my strong belief that women are just as capable as men and for equal rights and for equality. I support the separation of England and for the freedom of the 13 colonies. Abigail Adams and I have formed a movement to produce intelligent and duty-bound residents that will come together to form the success of our new nation.
Everybody very, very quiet. If we're very, very quiet, we might be able to hear what is going on in Independence Hall.
One useless man is called a disgrace. 2 are called a law firm. 3 or more, a Congress.
Yes, anger. Anger, sir, is never without a reason, but seldom with a good one.
These United Colonies should be free and independent states.
Microphone.
Mr. Lee is correct. This government should be made up by a number of sovereign states.
We have planned, and we must publish a paper declaring to all the world that an illegal rebellion is legal.
There is a spirit out there amongst the people. I can feel it.
Agreed, and our struggle will be glorious, but our success will be certain.
To place before mankind this document, the people must have common sense.
But what about our relationship with Great Britain? This revolution could be considered an insurrection.
Anyone who trades liberty for safety deserves neither liberty nor safety.
I stand for revolutionary purity in this Congress, and as the Committee of 5, we shall declare independence from foreign alliances.
Hold on. We don't need Great Britain or their whiskey.
Huzzah.
When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands from another.
Gentlemen, can we please try to agree on something? Chancellor Harrison is doing his best to keep a running tally on debate issues we're voting on, but with so much disagreement and argument, his job is unattainable.
People will always accept your ideas if you say that Benjamin Franklin said them first.
He's right. Too much talk and not enough action.
Just go.
The question is not what rights naturally belong to man, but how they must best be guarded in society.
We are about to brave the storm in a boat made of paper. How it shall end, God only knows.
This paper is our passport to the gallows, but there is no backing out now.
Let no man sit in this Congress without attaching his name to it.
And, oh. But we must all hang together, or most assuredly we shall hang separately.
There! So King George in England can see it without his glasses.
It's done. It's done.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Don't worry about it. Andy.
What is it? Oh, the very last? Oh, yes. This document may not ensure your happiness, only the pursuit of it. You must catch up with it yourselves.
Well, are we lucky or what to have had these brilliant founding fathers establish independence and promoting liberty all the while crafting a new government for a new nation. I say we give them a hand. But I cannot believe Chancellor Harrison here would have allowed the debates to become so out of control and chaotic. I've come to think that possibly the fairer sex may have been more suited for debate. These fine women wanted to ditch British rule, and each in their own special way was able to move society to a greater change and independence. But let me tell you a little bit about myself. I've been known to run with poets and anti-revolution and revolutionaries and the like. And I've hung out with Abigail Adams many times for clandestine meetings at night. My poetry and some of my plays have influenced the founding fathers to seek freedom. I have had many a meeting with anti-British women all over Philadelphia, and it has come to my idea that not only do we need to think about independence for ourselves, but note that we have so many people that are willing to give their time and their fortune to make this happen. My rallying cry is, taxation without representation is tyranny. But enough about me. Let's continue to hear what these fine ladies, or revolutionary heroines as I call them, had to bring forth to the revolutionary ideal.
I am Mary Stevens Livingston. Though many people call me Polly. I lived near Saratoga, New York during the American Revolutionary War. In 1777, as British troops marched through our countryside, I saw enemy soldiers nearing my home. Knowing the danger, I carried a warning to the American forces gathering nearby the campaigns that became the Battle of Saratoga. Helping the Patriots' cause came at a cost. My home was burned to the ground. My family was forced to flee among the other families. I never wore a soldier's uniform, but like many other women in revolution, I risked everything to help the cause of American independence.
Usio, I am Nan Yahe. I am a beloved woman of the Cherokee Nation. The colonists call me Nancy Ward. During the Revolutionary War, I supported the colonists so that my people could keep their land, their freedom, and their liberty. Most Native nations would side with the British because they believed that they would be released from oppression, and I knew that was a lie. I represented the Cherokee during political negotiations. I worked with American leaders in political negotiations. I told them of attacks that were coming. And when at war, I would chew the bullets so that they would have a deadlier impact. Soon, very soon, knowing that peace was coming made my heart swell with pride.
I am Betsy Ross. After my schooling, I was apprenticed out to an upholsterer. There I learned the business, and I was able to open my own shop in Philadelphia. There I sewed tents, uniforms, and flags for the Continental Army. That's when George Washington General George Washington came to me and asked help with the flag for the patriotism. He wanted a 6-point star, and I convinced him of a 5-point star. As you can see, with some folding, and one cut, you have a 5-point star. I'm very proud to have helped my nation with the very first flag of America. I will continue to sew for my country until I lose my eyesight.
I am Sally St. Clair of South Carolina. The man I love, Sergeant William Jasper, has gone off to fight the British. I couldn't bear that. Being brave, I followed. I too want to fight against British control. So I disguise myself as a man and am known as Samuel St. Clair. I'm an expert horse rider. I've been trained in firearms as a gunner. I do reconnaissance missions, and I take sentry and scouting duty whenever I can. When I march with the troops in battle, I maintain formation and am courageous. It is the siege of Savannah, and on the battlefield, a lance is thrust at my William. No! Instead, I take the fatal blow. It is there near the Santee River, as I'm laid in my grave, the company discovers I am Sally St. Clair.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mary Catherine Goodard. I am the only woman who has her name on the Declaration of Independence. Gentlemen, if you'll please give me a moment to explain with all due respect. Congress commissioned me to print the Declaration of Independence, and my copy was the very first to have all of the names of those that signed. I was schooled in reading and in math, and I was an apprentice in my parents' print shop. At the age of 24, when most young colonial women were thinking about children and marriage, I was learning to be a printer. I was composing pages, setting up text, and actually running and operating the press. I am very, very, very active in this American Revolution. I ran a bookstore. I'm quite the accomplished publicist, if I do say so myself, publishing almanacs and Thomas Paine's Common Sense. I was the very first postmaster for the Baltimore Post Office. Again, very, very active in the American Revolution on the side of the patriot colonists, printing and distributing editorials as a call of arms against the British rule. Of course, I opposed the Stamp Act, as that would have raised my costs in printing as a savvy businesswoman. I realized that printing this Declaration of Independence was treasonous, yet I did it with sound mind and body because I believe in liberty. My name is Mary Catherine Goodard, and I am the only woman with her name on the Declaration of Independence.
Hello, I am Anna Schwan, and I am a spy. My family was bullied for our political belief by the British. They took over my farm and they moved into my house. So I became a member of the culprit spy ring, and my job was to warn Washington about British movement. How? I knew my laundry. When I hang a petticoat on the line, it meant that the British were on the way. A single handkerchief it meant the British were leaving. Good riddance. And if I had two handkerchiefs, it meant all clear. Be a spy for the revolution. Now that's my secret. But now you know.
I'm Sybil Ludington. I traveled 40 miles on bareback to go to the Hudson Bay to warn everybody that the British were coming. My ride was 40 miles in the pouring rain, banging my lantern and shouting attack. I was told to pass my lantern to if by sea, and that is what I did.
I'm Sarah Osborne Benjamin. In the Revolutionary War, I was stationed with my husband in the Continental Army to guard the Hudson River. I saw horrific battles in the field. Many a night I was on sentry duty with my husband. I caught General Washington's attention, and he asked me, "Who put you on duty?" I said, "Them's that had a right to, sir." I washed and mended the clothes while the men were in the trenches fighting the British at Yorktown. I carried beef, bread, and coffee right through the artillery fire. And General Washington asked me again, "Are you not afraid of the cannonballs?" I said, "No, sir, the men cannot fight, it's starved too. If my husband dies in this war, I will receive a widow's pension and also one of my own. I saw and did it all."
My name is Elizabeth Bennett Harris, and I came from one of the most wealthy families. I even had a private tutor. Martha Washington is my aunt, and I married Benjamin Harrison, who was one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. I hosted many parties at my house where the delegates of the Continental Congress would come together and meet. My husband was one of the people that hosted the debates, and because of that, that scoundrel, Benedict Arnold, burned down our house. However, I am one of the only women to have my son and my grandson become president of the United States.
Hi, my name is Esther Reed. Save your money and donate instead to the Continental Army. I donate thousands to the cause, and I publish my ideas into a book called Sentiments of an American Woman. I am a part of the homespun movement. We make our own tea and sew suits for the Army. I am equal to any man in showing patriotism.
Hi, I'm Sarah Bach. I showed to the public that women like myself and my club members could influence world-led clubs to be successful.
right on Buttermilk Hill. Who could blame me crying my fill? And every tear will turn a mill. Johnny has gone for a soldier. Sure, sure, sure unknown. Sure, sure, and he loves me. When he comes back, we'll marry me. Like Johnny's gone for a soldier. Me, oh my, I loved him so. Broke my heart to see him go. Only time will heal my woe. Johnny has gone for a soldier. Sure, sure, sure unknown. Sure, sure, and he loves me. When he comes back, we'll marry me. My Johnny has gone for a soldier. I'll sell my rock, I'll sell my wheel, and likewise sell my spinning wheel, and buy my love a sword of steel. Johnny has gone for a soldier. I'll dye my dress, I'll dye it red, and through the streets I'll beg for bread. For the life I love from me has fled. Johnny has gone for a soldier. Sure, sure, sure unknown. Sure, sure, and he loves me. When he comes back, we'll marry me. Johnny has gone for a soldier. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the steps, and with the girls be handy.
Father and I went down to camp along with Captain Gooding. There we saw the men and boys as thick as hasty pudding.
Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the steps, and with the girls be handy. There was Captain Washington above his strapping stallion, tucked into all his men, I guess there was a million. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the steps, with the girls be handy. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the steps, and with the girls be handy. If everyone will please join us in singing America the Beautiful. Come on.
See you back at 1 o'clock for our second show. Thank you.